Good evening. I'd like to call to order the council meeting for the Corporation of the Town of Lincoln for April 3rd, 2017 to order, and ask everyone please to stand for the national anthem. I would like to do a roll call to start the meeting. We have regrets from Councillor McMillan, as well as Mayor Easton is under the weather this evening, so I am sitting in as Deputy Mayor to chair the meeting. To my left, from far left, Councillor McPherson, Councillor Rinjima, Councillor Pachariva. To my far right, Councillor Timmers, Councillor Thompson, and Councillor Foster. To my left, our CAO, Mike Kirkopoulos. To my right, the Director of Corporate Services, William Colossal. In the back row, our Director of Finance and Administration, Angela Safani. Fire Chief, Greg Hudson. Carrie Beatty, our Senior Communications Advisor. And Chris Collings, our Manager of Bylaw and Municipal Enforcement Services. Are there any declarations of interest? Seeing none, I would like to confirm the agenda. Thank you. Item number 6 on the agenda, the adoption of the previous council minutes of the regular council meeting of March the 20th, 2017. I have a motion from Councillor Foster and seconded by Councillor Thompson that the minutes of March 20th, 2017 regular meeting of council be adopted as circulated. Is there any need for any discussion? I think all council members were at that meeting. So your favor on the motion? And that is passed. Very quickly, I'm sure some of the other councillors will kick in, but I know Mayor Easton wanted me to give a brief comment on an event that she attended yesterday at the St. Albans for the migrant workers. I know she was there. She said it was a great event. I think there was approximately, if I'm correct, about 120 people that showed up. I think the Rotary Club from Grimsby was involved with the dinner, and from what I understand, it was a great event. So if there's other councillors later on in some of the reports that want to comment further on that, I would appreciate that. There is no regional councillors report tonight. So councillor reports, I will start on my right. Councillor Timmers.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brunet. I have a event that we held here last Thursday. We had, the Canada 150 Committee was here in full to raise our special Canada 150 flag, and it is flying out by our celebration garden. You can see it as you're driving into the location here. We also have, with the Canada 150, we have our next big event that's going to be coming up. It's going to be the Canadian Mosaic, which is a Canadian-wide project, and Lincoln was chosen to participate. That's going to be coming up in about 3 weeks. I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about how we're going to be doing that whole mosaic. We're going to be painting tiles within the community, and I'll give you more details when we get closer to the date on that. Let me see, I was at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure there's some other councillors here that are going to speak to it as well. I was there for the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards at on the 20, and I just want to congratulate NWIC Conversations and Shoppers Drug Mart for their awards. I also have a couple of people I wanted to give a little recommendation, or I'm losing where I am here. Larry and Marg Dick, who live in Camden. On Saturday night, they were honored by the Niagara North Federation of Agricultural, and they received a Lifetime Achievement Award. I just want to congratulate them. They've operated a very successful and innovative farm for about 30 years in our community, and they are also very active in many other community groups for many, many years. And I just wanted to thank them for their work and congratulate them. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Timmers. Councillor Thompson?
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Was pleased to attend the annual firefighters recognition and appreciation dinner. Proud of the awards that were given out to the long-serving firefighters, and congratulations to them. It was a great evening down at the Beacon. Very, very well attended. Then I also was pleased to join a meeting with the CAO and the mayor and Ms. Beattie with regards to delegation of students from the Netherlands who are here with the Innovation Quarter and Priva. Two of the university students that have arrived from the Netherlands are doing research in the area here and in Leamington, in and around the horticultural area with potted plants and veggies, and one is heading out to BC to do the same type of research. It was really nice to meet them and welcome them, and after they've completed their 4 months here, we'll be, I'm sure, checking back in with them to see what they've come up with. So it'll be very, very exciting to see that. And I was also at the OBAA's wearing a couple of hats. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Councillor Foster?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brunette. So a number of things over the last couple of weeks. I attended my first library board meeting on March the 21st. Actually, it was a really good meeting. We were going through and having discussions around a program that is coming into place for Niagara. Approximately 5 library systems are joining together and working out an agreement to do interlibrary borrowing on a much easier basis than it has in the past. This, of course, is facilitated by the fact that all of them are using the same system based out of Niagara College, the Evergreen system. So this is very positive, and actually it models ourselves a little better on some of the larger library systems in order to get materials and having specialization within certain branches type of thing. So very positive with that. On March the 24th, the Friday night, I attended the Rotary's 20th anniversary celebration. I've been fortunate to be one of the presidents over the last 10 years of the Rotary Club, so I was there in particular for that. We had Tim Hudak as our guest speaker, and we also provided to Tim, and it was a surprise to him, a Paul Harris Award for service above self, and it's well deserved for Tim. I know I've oftentimes in the last number of years have been on the political level a foe But on the opposite side of the coin, he has done a tremendous service for our community, and so it was actually a very nice thing for us to be giving him that award. Firefighters Banquet was on the 25th, and I agree with Councillor Thompson, always a fun event to be going to. The Chamber's OBAA's award, Margaret Andrews, who is a former councillor here as well as a Rotarian for a number of years, won the Community Partner Award. That was well-deserved. I think if you want to get to a dictionary and say community partner, you'd probably find her picture in there just with the things that she has done. And it's really nice that the Chamber recognized her with that. AMO, I attended Thursday evening and Friday morning the board meeting in Toronto. And a number of things going on with the AMO. The big issue that is being looked at now is some of the fairness in taxation that's going on, and reviewing some of the thought processes back with the provincial government, as well as ideas that have come forward municipally. So stay tuned. Lots of things going on in that area. Just a quick comment. I was listening to our national anthem. I was at the Buffalo Sabres game yesterday, and that guy that sings the national anthem for the Buffalo Sabres is incredible. I'd love to get a recording of him and use it here at council, so that's direction to the CAO to get a recording for that. And the final thing, expenses. We have a report coming forward later, and they have corrected it, so I get to say for the first time since I've been on council, I had the highest expenses last year, so, and I've put the boots to everyone else when they've had higher expenses, so it's well-deserved on my part since I've been at so many different things over the past year, and including our trip, but apparently I had an expense that hadn't been paid to me, so anyway, it's all corrected now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Foster. A busy week. Just a quick comment. I couldn't agree more. Unfortunately, I was out of town last week on business for 3 days, but I was very, very glad to see Marg Andrews get that Community Partner Award. It couldn't happy to a more deserving recipient, and I heard it was a great event. So thank you for your report. Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brunet. Just a couple of quick ones. I attended my first meeting of the BIA Farmers Market Subcommittee, just basically to see how things were coming along, and they are moving along nicely. We've got some nice input from some volunteers in that committee. We are looking for vendors, so anybody out there that wants to participate this summer in the farmers market, they can contact me or contact our executive director of the BIA, Marianne Lapatan. The other thing, I did attend the Prudhome's public meeting number 2, and I attended the first session of that afternoon's meetings. And at my session, or the session I attended, we had well over 100 people attending. Some very significant engagement from the community. Of course, we get a large crowd from the Victoria Shores folks, and they are very very engaged in the process, and so they should be. And we had a presentation from the planning team on an update to the secondary plan, which had some pretty significant changes to the original plan of late October, so that is all available, if not right now, very soon on the website. So that is my update. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Councillor Rinchman.
Thank you, Chair Brunet. The OBAAs were a successful event. As the representative on the Chamber of Commerce, I'll go through the award recipients. The Community Partner Award went to Margaret Andrews, as a number of you have mentioned, well-deserved. The Tourism Award of Distinction recipient was Cherry Avenue Farms. The Pathways to Opportunity Cooperative Education Employer recipient was Play and Collect. The Nonprofit Showcase Award presentation, which is a new award this year, was given to Community Care of West Niagara, and this just happens to be their 50th anniversary this year. In the small business category with 1 to 10 employees, the winner was Niagara Wireless Internet Company. Congratulations to them. In the medium business category from 11 to 30 employees, Conversations Cafe. Congratulations to them. In the large business category, 31 plus employees, Shoppers Drug Mart Beamsville. Congratulations to them. And thank you very much to our OBA committee and our hardworking OBA judges and all of our reception sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Councillor Patriva.
Deputy Mayor Brunet, I had the pleasure, as a number of other councillors, attending the Firefighters Awards dinner on March 25th. On Tuesday, March 28th, I, along with Councillor McPherson, attended the 13th Street PIC held at the Jordan Fire Hall. There was a group of citizens there, and they gave us some updates on some happenings that might result as a result of the bulbing of the 2 dead ends. So staff and the project team is going to go back and come up with some different scenarios and come back to them, to the group for another presentation, and hopefully these will rectify the problems. On the 29th, I attended the first session of the Prudhom's visioning kind of unveiling of the new design, and we'll look forward to working through that and getting to a final set of secondary plans that everyone's hopefully pleased with and ready to move on that. And then the OBIA dinner at the Windows Room was fantastic. Attended that as well. And there was something else. I'm drawing a blank, but it'll come to me. But thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Patriva. Thank you, all councillors. As Mayor always comments at this point, we're very actively engaged, and I think this summer with the Canada 150 events getting ready to start, we're going to be very active all throughout the year. So thanks very much for those reports, and it was a busy week. Thank you. The next 2 items on the agenda, we have no delegation and no correspondence, so we can move right into reports. And the first report is we have a motion that the minutes of the Finance and Administration Committee of March the 27th, 2017 be adopted and recommendations contained therein be approved and acted upon. Chair Patriva.
Thank you to Deputy Mayor Brunet. Our first, actually, before I started with the minutes, Councillor Foster sat in for yourself, who was away on business, and Councillor McPherson and Councillor Timmers also sat in that evening with committee. We had a couple pieces of correspondence to start the meeting off. We had support for Niagara Region Council's resolution in support of family members of missing persons, namely Niagara resident Ashley Smith. And this had to do with family members and the financial challenges are associated with the relentless search for missing loved ones. And the region was directing the Federal Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, and Labor to create a new category for families that are searching for missing loved ones, and we supported that. We had a piece of correspondence from the Tony Valley Tourism Association. They are putting on an event in conjunction with Canada 150, May 27th and 28th at the Balls Falls Conservation Area, named Roots on the 20. There'll be 40 local businesses, live cultural entertainment, and interactive exhibits. The rationale behind this piece of correspondence is the council or committee deeming it a community festival that allows them to go and get their AGCO permits. And then we got into a little bit of spending, and it reminds me of my days as the chair of the infrastructure committee. But our fire chief, Greg Hudson, was present, and he presented the first report. We'll be purchasing a new 2017 Kenworth truck cab and chassis and a new 3,500-gallon tanker body to replace FS52, which is the tanker that primarily serves the Camden area but responds to structural fires throughout Lincoln. It's a 1996 GMC, which is over 21 years of age, and insurance underwriters don't give credit for apparatuses over 20 years of age. So we were able to squeeze another year out of it, and the tanker truck will be disposed of accordingly as a surplus asset. Next report, we heard from our Senior Communications Director, Ms. Carrie Beattie, about a new website. Some of the issues that have been identified in the migration stage are giving, or let's say, have proved to be challenging. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with iCompass hosting our website, and we're going to use 2Gen Interactive to build the new content management system. Websites are an extension of your brand, and to ensure communication is timely, relevant, usable, and meaningful, this is the reason that we're going in this direction. We talked about being open and transparent. We wanted to engage the community, and we want to reach out to the public and have a information kind of sharing with them, and a little scorecard on how we're doing, and we can't do that presently with the website we have. So this will be launched, and hopefully, if all things go right and positive, it should be live in Q3. So looking forward to that. Our next report was delivered by our CAO, Mr. Mike Kirkopoulos, and it had to do with the introduction of remote access internet voting. And what we'll be doing is this will be used going forward this year in the advanced polls. So there's about a $7,500 cost. We'll be hiring a part-time election coordinator to go over the voters list and also to help with the new changes to the Municipal Elections Act. Timelines have been moved up, reporting dates have moved up, so this person will lend some expertise to our staff. And we had a very good discussion about that, about the challenges that might be faced. There was some reservations about security concerns, and the clerk in his, Mr. Kalasa, in his, talking to us, said that this is not something new. So since 2004, the municipalities that have undertaken internet voting, they tend to double each go around. So some of the bugs have been ironed out of the system, and the big thing is going forward too, we hope to be receiving some money from the Niagara region, because the election this year for the regional chair will also involve voting at our level, and before it was just the regional councilors decided who that was. So we hope to recoup some costs on them. There also might be some cost reduction to going forward, as we may not be using as many advanced polls or having people man those polls, but we won't know that until the end of the election cycle. There is a hope to increase voter turnout, and in the past, approximately 75% of the votes cast in the 2014 municipal election. We hope that those will continue to be paper ballots. We'd like to shift those a bit more, but we think that 25% will be via internet ballots. And we look forward to, this is, as Councillor McPherson said that night, or Councillor Thompson, this is dipping our toe in the water of the internet voting system, and we're going to try it with the advanced poll and see how that goes. The main thing is, getting that voters list bang on. The person that does the internet voting, you'll get a little code, and you'll go in, and that will also help us to better get a handle on our voters list. And our next report was with respect to the 2016 building permit fees. This was delivered by our Director of Finance and Administration, Ms. Safani. Every 12 months, the Building Code Act states that each municipality will prepare a report about any fees authorized under the Act, costs of the municipality to administer this Act, and enforce the Act. So in 2016, the total fees generated were slightly behind the enforcement costs, so we dip into the reserves to cover that off. And this is, it's kind of a fluid system. There was a lot of building permits that came in December, so those will carry over and we'll get a surplus in 2017. So it's very, process is very fluid. Sometimes you have to go on reserves to pull back in, and then other times you have surpluses, and then those are put over. We'll be dealing with council remuneration later on this evening because there was a couple discrepancies in the report, and we'll be taking a look at those. And then we received work plans from our Human Resources Department, our Corporate Services Department, and our Finance and Mid Department. And that's it.
Thank you, Chair Pachariva. Is there any discussion or comments with regards to the minutes of the Finance and Administration meeting? Councillor Foster.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So we had quite the discussion about this voting at our last meeting, and it was interesting. We did have a split vote as it was going on when it was all said and done. I've been thinking a lot about this since that particular meeting. I have to admit I'm not enthralled with the idea, but being as you know, we do the argument, as the chair says, and as Councillor Thompson had said, dipping the toe in the water. You know, probably it's a wise decision to do that. The only thing, and this is back through to staff, I would like staff to be keeping us up to date on the cleansing of the lists and making sure that this is all being properly accounted for. This is fraught with the potential of false voting going within it, and we just want to make sure that you know, we have every opportunity to make sure that what it is that is being worked with the town is as clean as it possibly can be. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Foster. Any other comments? Seeing none, we have a motion moved by Councillor Pachariva and seconded by Councillor McPherson that the minutes of the Finance and Administration Committee meeting of March the 27th, 2017 be adopted and the recommendations contained herein be approved and acted upon. Your pleasure on the motion. That is carried. Our next report is an amended report, TR 1704, regarding 2016 Council Remuneration Report. Angela, would you like to give a quick overview on this report? Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman. As Councillor Foster pointed out, there was one expense that was omitted from the report that was presented at F&A last week, so that expense has been captured in the report now, so it is complete. Next year, we'll be looking at providing more detailed breakdown for council so we can see which different committees were sat on.
Thank you, Angela. Any other comments? Seeing none, we have a motion moved by Councillor Rinjema and seconded by Councillor McPherson that report TR 1704 regarding the itemized statement of remuneration, easy for me to say, and expenses paid to each member of council for the year 2016 as prepared by the Director of Finance and Administration in accordance with the Municipal Act 2011 be received as information. Your pleasure on the motion. Thank you. We have no confirmation of compliance with S34 of the Planning Act, so we'll move right into the bylaws. The first bylaw is motion number 4, that leave be given to introduce the following bylaws. A, number 2017-24, to establish an administrative monetary penalty system, AMPS, and to repeal bylaw number 2014-46. B, number 2017-25-25, to establish an accessible parking bylaw and to repeal bylaws number 97-2020 and 2003-40. And C, number 2017-26, to appoint a municipal bylaw enforcement officer. Mr. Collings, would you like to comment on this, or if there's anyone, this is basically just an introduction of these bylaws, so if there's no discussion, we have a motion moved by Councillor McPherson and seconded by Councillor Ringema. Your pleasure on the motion? Thank you. Next report is bylaw 2017-25 to establish an accessible
This is just second reading.
Just second reading, sorry. That bylaw 27-24, 27-25, and 2017-26 read a first time, be now read a second and third time, and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk sign and seal the said bylaw. Pleasure on the motion? Thank you. Councillor inquiries. I will start on my far left, Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have maybe a request in the process of the Prudhome's secondary plan, and that request is that we see or at least, I shouldn't say we have some communication coming back from the planners prior to getting to the public meeting, that we have some overview of the changes that are made, the significant changes that are made to the previous plan, that we have an opportunity maybe for some input at that time. It just hit me that when we're at the meeting, we're seeing it for the first time since October, along with the rest of the crowd that was there. And I just thought it would be in our best interest to at least have some information going into that meeting so that we're prepared for the questions that are coming at us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Just briefly to comment on that, I will be debriefing with the consultants as it relates to the process so far, as well as some of the comments that I heard. And I think one of the things that I will be sharing is definitely that. I can also tell you we're also going to be sitting down with the developer and their experts to hear them out, to have a further conversation. And my goal at the end of that is to ensure that both council and all the various constituencies that have voiced suggestions, comments, all of that is heard, and whatever comes back, that information is incorporated into a new plan.
Thank you, Mr. CEO, and that's outstanding. I just think this is such a significant project for this term of council, and we just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to move it along as quickly as we can, and obviously to get it right. So thank you very much.
I think that's a great point, Councillor McPherson. I just wanted to add to that. I missed the very, very start of the meeting, the second evening PIC. But to me, there seemed to be a missing point. And certainly after the meeting, I was seeing a lot of stuff on social media and stuff, and maybe just a miscommunication. Maybe through you, Mr. CAO, just maybe a little bit of context when we go into those PICs. And maybe it was there, and maybe it was just missed by a lot of people that were there. But I think there's a lot of confusion that, you know, the people that were up at the front that were talking, the planners from WSIP, there's a perception that they're the developer. And there was a lot of comments after the meeting about that. So maybe that context was there, but I'm glad Councillor McPherson raised what he raised. And if that context was there, I apologize, but there seems to be some confusion with regards to some of the discussion that's taking place at those PICs. Councillor Rinjema.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I have a question about we've applied for funding for Conkle Creek, and my understanding is that that's supposed to be coming up. We're supposed to be getting a response in March. I'm wondering if, through you to the CAO, if we can have an update on the Conkle Creek funding application.
Through you, Mr. Chairman. As of yet, we have heard nothing back, and I think the timelines that the federal government had set out through Infrastructure Ontario have been pushed off slightly. Many of you will have heard or have read about the transit funding that was announced last week, towards the end of last week. It was always planned that the transit funding would come first, followed by the water and wastewater funding. So we did apply for the applied through the Clean Water and Wastewater Fund for monies for Conkle Creek and the restoration work there. I did check as of the 28th last week where we were and was told that we have not made any announcement timing decisions as of yet from the staff at Infrastructure Ontario. And then once those had been set, that they would be reaching out to the successful municipality. So we will definitely stay on it. As I said, I think the timeline's just been delayed slightly as a result of a number of announcements that are coming through the federal government.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Deputy Mayor, I have another inquiry through you to the CAO. Can you update us on, we have a recent announcement that the 2021 Summer Games are going to be coming to Niagara. Can you tell us what you know about that?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, that announcement once again did come last week, a great announcement for all of Niagara. And I think you'll recall one of the principles that the team that was putting forth the bid had at the beginning was that there would be some sort of project or legacy for all of the local area municipalities. From a Lincoln perspective specifically, there's two items that we are participating in with the Niagara 2021 Games. One is we will be hosting a number of the baseball practices up at Beamsville Lions Park. As well, we will be home to the warm-up pool once the games are complete at our Jordan Lions site. More information will be coming forth to and through committee at the appropriate time as we kind of move forward. But those are the two projects as it relates to the 2021 games that we are participating with and in.
Very exciting, thank you.
Councillor Patriva.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. A couple questions, or inquiries, I should say. Probably the first one to Mr. Kirkopoulos. I noticed that the work has started on the Mr. Convenience property, and it appears that the developer is taking down the front of the building, the facade. I noticed that the cornerstone that had the date and some of the other brick is coming down painstakingly and is going to be used in the design going forward?
Mr. CEO.
Through you, Mr. Chairman. The councillor's correct. A lot of the site work in terms of minor grading did begin late last week and will continue over the next number of weeks. We have been meeting with the developer, our staff, specifically Andrew Greenaway, our chief building official, as well as Monica Coquiera from a heritage planning perspective, have met with the developer and his team on a number of occasions, and really to talk to them about salvaging certain items. So the items that we've agreed upon and that conversation did ensue as part of the conversations that we had with the Heritage Committee as well. The stone windowsills and wall caps will be saved. There's a 1929 plaque, as you highlighted, that will be saved as well. There's some light poles that were poured in place at the front of the building near the sidewalk. They have some major cracking and are being held together, but those will be cut off and saved as well. And as well, the bricks. We had always talked about the front facade being saved. Now, there is some challenges with that in terms of how those bricks were laid. If they were laid in cement and not mortar, there could be a difficulty in terms of salvaging all of them and reusing them in terms of an exterior application. But notwithstanding that, there will be, if not an exterior application to that facade, an interior application using those bricks in terms of a feature wall.
Yes, Councillor
Yeah,
Patrick.
thanks. And just one more, too. I noticed, there was an event uptown yesterday as a kickoff for Autism Awareness Week, and I noticed on Twitter today a bunch of municipalities were hoisting the Autism Awareness flag, and was very proud of the fact last year when we put the flagpole up in the garden out front, and happy to see last week the Canada 150 committee out there hoisting that flag, but wondering if we had been approached by anyone at Autism Awareness to put a flag up.
Through Mr. Chairman, we had been dealing with them. Our facility staff had been dealing with autism awareness, and we were going to plan something. I think the call came at last minute. We had already set the plan in place with Canada 150. I know we've talked about moving forward, also doing what a lot of municipalities are doing, and that is illuminating Town Hall with the various colors. So blue is the color for autism awareness. And I know had the mayor been here, she also wanted to highlight that it was Autism Awareness Day yesterday, and there were a lot of things happening across the region, a lot of the boards and agencies doing similar things. So I think what we're trying to do is, as we move forward, take an opportunity, being on the QEW, having that visibility, to start illuminating Town Hall when there are these various recognition events.
And one more, and the opposite of illumination, so the Saturday previous was Earth Hour, and we turned off a bunch of lights to proclaim that, and wondering if we derived any cost savings.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, actually, we did. One of the things I looked at NPEI to do for us after the fact was to determine from a percentage basis, and I can't give you what that exactly means from a cost perspective, but we did notice an almost a 2% decrease in energy consumption across the municipality as a result of dimming down and decreasing lighting throughout the municipality. So here at Town Hall, we had turned all the lights off as well. A lot of our recreational facilities, where possible, we dim the lights in those particular locations as well.
Excellent. Councillor Foster.
Just thinking with the lights off in the arena and the hockey game going on, but just a quick comment, and it's not really so much an inquiry, but part of the AMO meeting the other day, I forgot to mention that there's been a lot of discussions with the province on their budget. We've recently seen what's come down at the federal level. But the thinking back in and through, and I sent a note earlier to the CAO, but they're saying that it's not going to be a happy budget coming out of the province this year. So hearkening back to what Councillor Njima was talking about, infrastructure spending, et cetera, it seems that the provincial government is very concerned around balancing the books, obviously for a variety of reasons. So it will be interesting for us as we're moving forward and seeing what is available from an infrastructure point of view. So, thank you.
Councillor Thompson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Through you to the CAO, I'm just like to inquire. I heard there was news in and around the Jordan Museum, and I just wanted to know if you would care to comment to that.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I am going to defer to Chair Rajima, who I think wants to make the announcement on this. Should council have any questions following her announcement, then I can definitely answer any particular questions. But I know she had asked me some details, and I know as the chair of the SRC committee, that she was excited to be announcing that, so I will relinquish the floor to council.
Drum roll, Councillor Rinjema.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brunet. The Heritage House, home of our museum, has been sold. This was an exciting opportunity to salvage a piece of history. It will be moved over in the coming weeks as months and as we make our way for our new museum and our cultural center. Local family, the High family, is paying for the move, will avoid demolition costs, and will save money. Good news for the heritage in our community. Any questions? Over to the CAO.
Excellent, excellent. Mr. CAO? And we have Councillor Timmers wanting to chime in.
I don't have a question, I just had a comment that I'm really, really happy with this outcome. I think it was, when the idea was floated, I didn't know if it could really happen, and to see that it really is happening and the High family is going to move it is just fabulous. I can't wait to see it being moved. And I think there's a lot of people very happy in the community about this outcome, so I just wanted to say that. I'm really happy about it.
And if I can say also thank you to our CAO and to staff for their innovation in getting this to happen.
Thank you, councillors. I think Mr. CAO would like to comment further.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think this is one of those good news stories. I think sometimes we don't often get the chance to announce these types of things where we've come up with an idea, and I can tell you, Councillor, I also thought when I heard it, this is just a little bit more work. It's going to cause a little, it's going to delay the project. How are we going to do this? Things are already busy enough on a complex site. And so now we've added this one little piece. But I think it speaks to our commitment to, honor our past, to honor the heritage of the community. And I think, it'll definitely make for a great story when we do actually do the move. Seeing an entire house being moved, is one of those things that will be, I think, interesting for all of us to watch. I think we've seen it on TV. I haven't seen it live personally. I don't think a number of us have, or have people in the community. So I think it'll be one of those exciting projects. I think, as the councillor mentioned, we were going to have to demolish the house and incur those costs. As a result of that, we won't be incurring those costs. So there are definitely some cost savings. There was a small purchase price for the cost, as well as all the other costs that are going to be incurred by the High family to move this particular location. It will be staying in Niagara. My understanding is they've bought a small piece of property up in Wainfleet that they'll be moving it to. However, they are looking for other more local properties, but a great local family that has a lot of history to the museum, that has a connection with the museum. So this is one of those, I think, as everyone said, one of those positive outcomes.
Thank you, Mike. Councillor Thompson?
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'm just really pleased, as that was my former committee that I was chairing, and seeing all of the goings on and around the museum site. It's nice to see the outcome like that, and kudos to staff and just thinking outside of what is normally possible. So great job. Thank you.
Councillor Timmers, any other inquiries?
I think all of my inquiries have been covered off.
Okay.
So I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is notice of motion. We have none. Are there any announcements? I'm going to start with, on this side, with Councillor Thompson and then Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Just wanted to let everybody know that the planning meeting for April 10th, normally scheduled at 7 p.m. start, but we've got a 6 p.m. start with the delegation in regards to the Prudhomme's secondary plan presentation. So just so people get, and the public meetings obviously will start at 7 o'clock as per usual. So just heads up to folks that they want to come out and see it, see what's going on. If they weren't able to attend the PIC, certainly information will be coming forward then. So
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Thank you. Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a few announcements. The Jordan Lions are hosting their annual Wild Game Dinner this coming Friday night at the St. John's Anglican Church Hall up in Jordan. It is their major fundraiser, as I understand it, and very well attended, usually sold out. So that's happening on Friday night. Also on Friday night, the St. Helens Knights of Columbus are hosting a ham roll in the very recently renovated basement of the St. Helens Church. So for those that are looking for a ham or a lot of fun, Friday night up at St. Helens. I've also got, and I'm sorry that the mayor's not here, the first meeting of the BIA Beautification Subcommittee will be held on Tuesday, May 18th. I'm going to be attending that. We've got some nice volunteers that are willing to sign on for that subcommittee. And finally, Councillor Thompson and I have set Tuesday, May 2nd as we're going to host a Ward 3 public meeting down at the Jordan Fire Hall. There are many, many important events and developments happening down in the East End, down in the Jordan Vineland area, and we had an excellent effort by the staff at the last ward meeting, ready to talk to all of the important things that are going on down there. So we'll come out with more information on that over the next week or so. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Councillor Rinjema.
Thank you, Chair Brunet. Some announcements from the Chamber of Commerce. On Wednesday, April 19th, there will be a business after 5 at McGregor's Pub and Restaurant in Vineland. This is a business after 5 where all of the 3 chambers from West Niagara, being Grimsby, Lincoln, and West Lincoln, are participating as associate members. It's free to all members, so come on out. Again, that's Wednesday, April 19th. No need to register. Also from the Chamber, the Mayor's Luncheon is Wednesday, April 26th at Rockway Vineyards. You'll be getting an invitation to that soon, so please save the date on your calendar. Also from our Community Services Department, the volunteer recognition, just a reminder that our volunteer recognition ceremony is April 28th, and that's also at Rockway Vineyards. Put the date on your calendar.
Thank you, Diane. Councillor Foster.
Thank you. Just a quick reminder for those that are interested, the OSAM conference is coming up May 3rd to the 5th, the Wednesday through the Friday. And that is in the town of Blue Mountains this year. So wonderful location for a conference, and it should be quite good timing, because our expectation is it'll be right after the budget when that conference is hitting. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Rinjema.
Thank you. I forgot to announce something. I wanted to highlight Brian Jaworski's efforts for putting I don't know if any of you have seen it, but he's here today, and he went out on his own volition and put a garbage can and a white bench at the GO bus stop at the MTO parking lot, so people can enjoy their wait for the bus. So thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Councillor Rinjema. And I just have one quick announcement. On behalf of our Active Transportation Committee, we have the Bike Summit that's coming up next week, and we have 3 committee members. We have our Senior Planner, Matt Bruder, and Deputy Chair, J.D. Pachariva, as well as the pre-mentioned Brian Jaworski from our committee, all attending the Bike Summit, and we look forward to report back from those guys for an exciting couple of days. So the next item on the agenda is a motion that leave be given to introduce the following bylaw. A, number 2017-27, to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by council resolution. Your pleasure on the motion? That is carried. And motion number 7, that bylaw number 2017-27, read a first time, be now read a second and third time, and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk sign and seal the said bylaw. Your pleasure on the motion. That is carried. Seeing no further business, I adjourn this council meeting. Thank you.